Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, depending on where you're watching us from. I'm Azuka OJ, and please subscribe to our channel. Last week, we reported about the NINAS 1 million march during UN meeting, which would be attended by Buhari. And we also told you of how Buhari's chief of staff, I think Gambari, has left before time so as to infiltrate the NINAS organizers in an attempt to stop the planned march. And remember, we told you what NINAS mean: Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. And it is a union of several self-determination groups. As such, we are expected to see several of these groups participating. But here is the latest. Look at this headline. NINAS Million Man March. IPOB not part of us. NINAS corrects Elomba News. So how can NINAS coordinators say such that IPOB is not among? It appears IPOB is excluded from the march. Black men, black men. This is why it is hard for us to make real progress. We don't cooperate. We don't want to come together and forge a formidable force strong enough to make a statement. Elomba, you know Elomba News, he wrote about that IPOB is part of the... Oh, and they are correcting Elomba on his report that IPOB is part of NINAS movement. Now, I would like us to listen to headline by an intelligent mind, my friend Milo's Corner.
Big strategic mistake. This is why Fulani will rule Nigeria for a very long time. The southern elites, the way they conduct politics, they don't know how to conduct politics. If you are looking for something, you don't care who you use to arrive at your destination. Look at it as somebody who is in the stream or river. The river is trying to swallow you. You put out your hand for help. Even your worst enemy, grab your hand, you jump out of that river. Only after you jump out of that river, you start to look at who is that and who is not that. Okay? You need a population to send a message, and you're excluding some of your population out of the process of what you are doing. Now, if IPOB is not there, let me see how many Biafrans that will be there. I bet you none. So if these people are smart, you trick the IPOBs to come out there. You are the organizer of the party, so whatever happens there is your gain, not their gain, because you're the one that organized the party.
You heard that? May God help black people. And I also saw another headline saying, "Wrecking." Look at the headline. UN protests. Keeping company with IPOB, worrisome. Presidency tackles Yoruba nation agitators. And it went on to say, the presidency has faulted Yoruba nation agitators for keeping association with indigenous people of Biafra. Can you imagine that? Let's read further. And it said, this was contained in a statement issued by Garba Shehu, Senior Special Assistant to the President, Media and Publicity. Can you imagine? IPOB's presence in that march would make it more formidable. Yes? And the federal government wouldn't want that too. NINAS 1 million march is targeted at letting the world see what is happening in Nigeria and compel the Nigerian government to take actions. Actions like overhauling the 1999 Constitution, totally doing away with it, and even organizing a referendum among the constituents who are seeking secession. That's parts of the country who are seeking secession. That is the NINAS plan. And I believe NINAS is not working for the federal government. So why this exclusion of IPOB? Does it mean the chief of staff to Buhari Gambari, what is it called, succeeded in, last week I told you about planning to infiltrate this NINAS organizer. Does it mean he succeeded? I think I would agree that he succeeded. Meanwhile, I would like to read the story in full. The NINAS Million March, IPOB not part of us. NINAS corrects Elomba news. Nigeria's Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, has in a strongly worded rebuttal demanded the retraction of an aspect of Elomba news report that included the secessionist Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, as part of the alliance and its million-man march to the 76th United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, in New York on September 14, 2021. The program has already begun. We are reading further. According to NINAS, in a statement issued on September 15 by its Secretary General, Tony Nnadi, coming amidst the NINAS Million March to the 76th on UNGA, it is imperative that this inexplicable insertion of violent criminal gang as IPOB into the NINAS fold, which is most damaging to the reputation of NINAS, be remediated as clearly and expressly as the wrong insertion was done. Could you imagine? Could you imagine what these people are saying? NINAS stated that this immediate disclaimer was compelled by a deluge of complaints from embarrassed NINAS alliance organizations and members as IPOB, with its mutation into the violent criminality of ESN and unknown gunmen, is such a toxic liability that NINAS does not wish to be in any form of association with them. I'm still reading the report by NINAS as they exclude IPOB. Now let me read the rebuttal. This is the rebuttal by NINAS. The way it reads, they wrote to Elomba, because Elomba has said IPOB is involved. They wrote, "It is shocking that all of the media reports on the NINAS Million Man March to the UN, only Elomba.com included IPOB as being a part of the NINAS alliance. Your story even began with that falsehood. With the numerous disclaimers of NINAS of previous dishonest attempts to associate the rogue Biafra franchise called IPOB with NINAS, this one more failed attempt could have been ignored, especially since all the major newspapers in Nigeria has the story of the NINAS Million Man March to the UN on the front pages, with accurate reports on who NINAS is and what NINAS is doing." Like we are reading further, this is their real letter. It said, "Nevertheless, at the lodge of complaints from embarrassed NINAS alliance organizations and members compel an immediate disclaimer, as IPOB, with its mutation into violent criminality of ESN and unknown gunmen, is such a toxic liability that NINAS does not wish to be in any form of association with them. I wish to request on behalf of NINAS that your media platform immediately retracts that aspect of its story and refer to both previous and this present disclaimer by NINAS." Please act urgently so that the NINAS Secretariat will have your retraction handy to help assuage the anger of NINAS alliance partners who already ruled out mistakes as reason for that terribly wrong and in fact dangerous inclusion of IPOB. Coming amidst the NINAS million-man march to the 76th UNGA, it is imperative that this inexplicable insertion of a violent criminal gang as IPOB into the NINAS fold, which is most damaging to the reputation of NINAS, be remediated as clearly and expressly as the wrong insertion was done. Sincerely, this one shocked me. Hey, I can't believe it. Black men, black men. Meanwhile, this not just common with the NINAS organizers. We black people fail most times because we are not ready to focus on the goal first. We could just spoil everything, make everything just because of some slight differences with each other. Some of us will even pull down everything, including our opportunity to be free. One such freedom must be gotten in conjunction with the ones we are displeased with. That is our problem. And the case of NINA and IPOB is another example. Anyway, viewers, tell us what you think about the story. Please add your comment on the comment section. What I just read is from NINAS reacting to why Elumba News will include IPOB as part of the NINAS project. What do you think? Please add your comment. Please also subscribe to our channel if you haven't. Click on the bell icon to get our updates anytime it drops. Azoka OJ. Bye for now.